Hi, my name is Jung with the MBhealth Insurance Agency here in St. Louis, Missouri. Today I want to talk about specifically 2025 and why your healthcare network may change this year. So I don't say that to get everybody freaked out like, oh my gosh, what's changing? But things can change every year with these carriers and through the Affordable Care Act. And sometimes in any product you may have, it's smart to be reviewing it and making sure that your network that you've been used to or accustomed to isn't taking any type of adjustment, okay? In a perfect world, the doctors I see in 2024 are going to be the same doctors I see the next year. But that isn't always the case. Doctors have the abilities to leave a network, to join a new one, and so that's a fluid process. I always tell people when I'm looking them up on an electronic provider directory that it's just only as good as are updated by the carrier as well as the provider. So that lends to a reason of why you want to be reviewing these things yearly, okay? Let me give you a couple examples. In this year, when I was working with my Affordable Care Act plans, for instance, some of these carriers that had a national network changed it to where they only are covering the bordering counties in the state around them, okay? Well, that's a big change. That means if I were to be traveling, I could go to see anybody that could potentially be in network based off of me making a phone call and finding out that doctor. Whereas now, it's just life-threatening emergency care. And so those are things you kind of want to be aware of when they could adjust or change. I had another carrier that all of a sudden now has a better scenario that if they have a plan in the state you're in, that you can use that network as in-network. Well, that's a big change. That's a very nice benefit, especially let's say I'm have a family and I got a couple kids that are in other states. Well, what if that network's in the state they're in and now they could use in-network providers, whereas before it was just life-threatening emergency. So those are some examples as why you want to keep up on your network and reviewing it with somebody every year. You know, I do get a lot of questions about, well, Dan, is there a supplemental plan I can buy that'll cover me when I'm out of state? And my real answer to that is, it's not so much is it going to cover you like with a network, but I do think you might be able to have a plan that maybe would reimburse you some cost if you have an injury or an accident. So it's not a network per se, but it maybe could help you get some funds or some dollars to put toward if you had to pay a claim that was out of network. If you're traveling out of the country, well, I definitely suggest, for sure, give an MBhealth Insurance Agency a call because we deal with the products that are like travel policies that you can have them to wrap around what you've got, okay, to create that peace of mind for a small duration, okay? So I think it's important in wrapping this up is that, yes, things change. And you can only be aware of those changes if you're working with somebody, in my opinion, that's going to be focused on knowing those for you. And that's where I think folks like myself, we come into play. So look us up at MBhealth Insurance Agency or give me a call at 314-544-5400. Take care.